podcast 182, and typically I ruined it. So...
It's like it just says crit help. There you go.
Oh, what do we have here?
Oh, I like it.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic.
What's going on?
Tips on mute.
I'm just going to do the podcast like this for an hour, guys. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing, Daryl?
Tim, you're muted. And it's fantastic.
I do hear sex sells, so that's perfect.
Well, we were told to wear ugly Christmas sweaters. I don't have a Christmas sweater, but I got an ugly shirt, so it worked out perfect.
Yeah, you know what? When Daryl said I got you after I kind of gave him a little business, I understood. Yep. I understood what's coming. I love that.
You knew something was coming. Yeah.
Oh, man. So, last podcast before Christmas?
Yeah.
Are we doing
last hour podcast before Christmas?
Right, correct. Yeah. Are we doing a podcast before New Year's? Does anybody look at the calendar anymore? I don't.
It's the 27th.
We'll see.
Maybe we can plan something.
Yeah, we'll see. We have a small tournament going on that weekend or that day.
No, it's not a big deal. No, we're good.
Yeah. No big deal that way. So.
We're good, Dex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to see you. Welcome back, Daryl. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. I just I felt like today would be a good day to come back and join you guys. It's been a little while, so happy to oblige.
The gray and the beard, like you're going full Santa for this, or?
Yeah, well, I was actually within the group chat today. Tim sort of mentioned we should do a Santa theme, and yeah, I'll come and join Christmas theme. Well, I think it was Ty started, Christmas theme, and spin the wheel. I'm like, I got an hour tonight. There's no golf happening on a Wednesday evening. No, there's kids' activities, so I might have to leave and go pick up somebody. But yeah. Happy to be here. How you guys been doing? How's the podcast been going?
It's shambles like usual.
Yeah.
But
organized shambles.
We hope it's entertaining. That's really just the hope every week. Is we hope somebody gets a laugh and maybe learn something. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
And if enough people are interested in this shirt, we'll throw it on the store.
I do not need to see more of those at tour events.
Do you know what? I'm sure they would sell.
100%. He has
quick.
to go pick someone up.
All right. Well, there's Daryl, guys. There
He came back. He's back.
And I was out. Got to go pick up the kids. Just came in for the reveal. See ya.
Are you guys ready for Christmas?
No.
To be honest, when I heard that today was the last podcast before Christmas, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. I started my Christmas shopping this week.
Oh, that's not good. I have one left to pick up, and it's a gift card.
I don't have that many people to shop for, though.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's not really my department in my house either. So I probably have one gift I'm probably supposed to get, and
yeah,
I
you
really
get BPG
yet
swag, and you get BPG swag.
Yeah, everybody. You get discontinued item. You get discontinued.
Who needs a mug?
We all get
Somebody
discontinued
needs
items.
a shirt.
Yeah. Hey, having this new machine in the back though, we can play around with things pretty dang quick. So that was this was a quick came together this afternoon. Scoured the internet for a Tim Wiseman photo, and put a little Christmas theme to it, and this is what we came up with. So
you know what? That's not nearly the worst photo I have. So I mean, that's perfect.
It's one of the more clothed photos you have.
Where was this photo taken? Do you know where it's from?
Oh God, I don't even know. Oh, you know what? That was the pool. That was a pool pic.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, look. There we go. I was a little blackout at that point. Yeah.
At that point.
That point. Oh, I hear folks do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the gift that keeps giving. That's for sure.
We'll get you a t-shirt, Tim or Dexter.
This is the gift that's similar to like syphilis.
Oh, Jesus!
It's just there. It's annoying, and you can't get rid of it.
guys, should we touch on fantasy football before this goes more off the rails?
We should.
Because there was a disturbing potential, what do we want to call it, raised this morning by a fun factoid. That's what it was described as this morning. Within our 5-Pin Universe Football Fantasy League, if Katie and Tim both win this week and I lose, any three of us could come last. And I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
This
It's
was
actually
brought up today? I didn't even know that. That's cool.
It is in the Facebook group chat.
It is. It's getting pretty intense.
I'm projected to lose by 20, so I mean, there's that too.
Ooh, and points are close. I'm only 14 ahead of you, Tim, and Katie's only 8 ahead of you. So points one is...
So I'm hoping for a loss, and then I get more points.
Well, if
Gotcha.
Katie loses, she'll be last.
If I lose too,
Yes.
So,
There's-
and the way Tim set this up, where there's only 4 teams make the playoffs, it's going to be interesting. Because if I lose, then there's a potential, because these other 4 teams are looking like they're in
9-5
position
as
to
well.
win. So there could be 5 teams with the same record.
But are any of those two playing each other?
No. So I'm facing Carrie, who's 9th. Tracy's facing Katie and projected to win. Brett is facing Mitch and projected to win. Mark is facing you and projected to win. And yeah, so everybody's facing somebody that they should win against. So if I lose and everybody wins, there's 5 teams in that position. And then it goes to total pinfall. Or sorry, not total pinfall.
Total pinfall.
Yeah, basically said
Yikes.
points 4, and that's kind of where Tracy's going to be in trouble. I'm assuming it's points 4 when it's a 5-player team, but yeah.
Are we doing
5-player
winner of regular season or just winner of playoffs gives loser
Oh, there's 2
the
losers.
punishment? Right.
Loser of regular season and then loser of the consolation in playoffs.
So you could lose regular season.
Speaking from
if
experience,
you
you do not want to have to do the punishment.
You haven't done a punishment yet.
What are you talking about? ROC made me do something.
What do you make
No.
Well, you ask him.
you do? Yeah, you've done nothing. Get out of here. But the nice thing is like honestly, like Carrie's best move is to lose to me this week.
Yeah, that way I don't enter playoffs. But do I want you giving it the punishment to Tim? Yes, I do. So let's hope.
Exactly. So, yeah, there might be some collusion this week. We'll see. Because if you end up in 9th, then yeah, you're not in playoffs. You can't be last either time.
Just wait till Sunday morning. The texts will be flying. We'll be figuring out deals. What's going to happen?
You drop all your
Approval
players.
grades.
Don't even play this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as I can't finish last, right? That's all I'm looking at. Perfect.
You
Yeah,
cannot
you can't
finish
finish last.
Even better.
It's definitely close. Like it's nice that it's coming down to the last week and like things are actually close for a lot of things, which is good. In our other fantasy football league, there is literally like 6 teams playing for last week was their last week, and there were 6 teams playing for one final spot.
Oof.
It was wild. There was like 10th could still make playoffs. It was crazy.
We like to spread things out a little bit more here, you know.
Oh, it is
Keep it
spread out.
honest.
oh Jesus!
We keep our upper echelon together, and our bottom of the barrel really sticks to the bottom of the barrel.
I just like that I'm the best of the rest. That's what it looks. Every season, the 5-Pin U baseball fantasy draft, that was the best of the rest.
I won consolation. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but like playoffs don't really matter, Ty. Like we all know this. It's about
true.
the regular season.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
And be honest with you, no one actually cares about consolation once you're.
If you talk to the Boston Bruins, the cup was not won in the regular season.
Yeah.
They
Does
went
anybody
and
really
fucked it.
watch NHL playoffs though? It's the longest playoff format in the history of all sports, and I lose interest after game one.
I don't like NBA either because let's face it,
Isn't it the
it's
same?
all.
There are also 7 games.
No.
Yeah, but they can play back-to-back days. NHL can't.
Yeah.
How about speaking
To
of
an extent.
basketball, LeBron winning the inaugural in-season tournament? Like, he's got to be the GOAT, right?
Oh,
There you go. Naughty.
I mean,
No.
you throw in a new tournament and a new trophy and a new title to win, and
yeah.
Bron goes and wins.
I'm
his
sorry.
first
I'm
game.
sorry, but
I'm pretty sure
I-
Jordan probably won that if he had the chance to play that. So
Look,
Well, he
and-
didn't though.
Okay, I want to throw it out here. Okay, if Jordan wasn't around, LeBron wouldn't get the shit he got. If Jordan wasn't around and got Nike and all the other shit, LeBron would not have been beat anywhere where he's at. So, everybody can thank Jordan for lucky pennies.
Sorry,
all
what does
that.
the sponsorship have to do with him being a player? I don't
yeah,
get
Well,
he would,
it's
he would
easy.
still be in the league, probably, Tim.
No, because if you think about LeBron, like he's a bag of shit. He's not that good.
Jesus, you don't even know the guy. How can you call that?
Yeah. No, it's 2 different eras. It's 2 different
No.
eras. I know what he's trying to do.
The defining difference to me is the fact that Jordan didn't play GM and player. That's the defining difference for me. Jordan never sat there and said, hey, bring in this guy, bring in this guy, bring in this guy, bring in this guy. We're going to make a super team. He just made people better. LeBron just
He's a
like,
bitch.
yeah, no, bring me all the guys so I can win. And I hate it. I cannot stand. That is why I can't stand the NBA.
Do you ever watch? Whenever I see the little like whiny little bitchness in his eyes. Whenever I look back
Oh,
at the
like
J.R.
Patty
Smith
Mahomes?
situation, it was like you're an
Yeah,
idiot.
Speaking
no,
of whiny, Patty Mahomes. Patty Mahomes.
You see that when the KC was offside, which they were
Oh,
The guy was offside 5 times.
It was
all
outrageous.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
all game.
And like,
No, you
you
guys
can't
ne-
call
you guys-
that. Well, then get your guy on side. Like,
You should have gave us a warning.
and they flagged it before they even made the miraculous play. It is what it is. And then his reaction with Josh Allen at the end of it was like abysmal. And like, I've always liked Patrick Mahomes, but I think a lot of people lost a little bit of respect for him on the weekend.
Maybe it's a Taylor Swift thing. There's just getting to be too much for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Well,
it's too much.
I like Taylor
But
Swift,
just
so
to end the
it's-
debate, Jordan was a hell of a player, won many titles, but LeBron has earned himself as being the GOAT. He's 21 years in the league. Like, the guy is just stacked, keeps winning, doing good things.
doesn't-
They're
he
gonna
doesn't
again this
win.
year. Okay, so if the Lakers win this year, then will you consider him the GOAT?
No, because he has 8 losses in the finals. Like, what a loser!
He's made
like,
it. Like,
honestly,
how many times has
he's
he made
he's the greatest loser of all time.
Right, and Jordan
He's won a
didn't bring
few
in
times.
Dennis Rodman. Jordan didn't bring in, various players over the time. Right.
No, Jordan didn't do it. That was the GM, and he was actually
Jordan
a
was
good
pretty
GM.
selfish and sort of played on his own. But anyways, LeBron, there's my vote.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I
How
just saw
about
this.
How about Draymond Green? That guy made a
Suspended
good comment. I'm
indefinitely. I
surprised
just
he
saw.
didn't-
I don't even
He-
follow
Is that right?
basketball. It just came out.
Flagrant foul, hit
whack,
punched the
man.
guy in the face. Yeah.
That was a weird foul.
Okay, so let's compare. Do we have a Draymond Green in bowling? Let's talk about bowling talk.
I have no idea who Draymond Green is, so how about we
He's
don't
on
make
the
comparisons?
well. So like,
He's a Hall of Famer.
we don't
though.
have anybody that really punches anybody in the face, except for like certain people punching themselves in the face.
There it is.
But like,
yeah.
that's very different. Although actually, no, that's wrong. I actually have a video of somebody getting knocked out in like the Dell lanes, but that looks different. that's the only experience that I've seen of that happening in a long time. So I don't think we really have. No, not Brett Mapstone. He's choked me
Draymond
out
Green
probably 7 times, but I've
carries
had it
it.
coming probably 8 times. So
plays for the Golden State Warriors, and there's like, of course, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are like the Smash Brothers. The third player that's been playing there for 15 years is Draymond Green, but over the years he's kind of starting to take like ridiculous fouls and unnecessary things, losing his temper, doing like just stupid sort of weird. Like he's just gotten weird.
He's
and
like
thinks
Sean
he's way
Avery
better
from
than he
the
is.
Rangers.
Yeah,
but
thinks
I
he's better
mean,
than he is. Sure, he's been a good player, but he's his ego's gotten his way. And anyways, on the weekend, he did this stupid foul and swung his arm around and punched a guy in the face, like as if that he was getting like, soccer foul, then had to go diving all over the place and flipped his arms around and hit a guy. And I don't know anybody who's a Draymond Green fan.
I actually liked him, but I mean, like, I liked him, not liked him, but not anymore. I think
that makes sense.
But he's a Hall of Famer. There is no doubt about it. He will be in the Hall of Fame.
Greatest defender ever.
He claims it.
He's won a bunch of he's won defensive awards.
Was he better than Rodman?
No.
Yeah.
Is this a bowling podcast or a basketball podcast?
Yeah.
This is
Where are
banter
we?
time.
It's banter.
And we are way past banter time. That is 17
All right, let's
minutes on
spin
the
a wheel.
clock.
Let's spin a wheel.
Thank God.
Thank you for all the input that we got today. It was
Yes.
overwhelming. It was more than we expected.
My
Thank you,
wheel
guys. It's
is
worked out.
drowning.
Let's see what we get. This could be chaotic.
No,
Gary Goulash had a good question too that you can add to the wheel for someday.
Yes.
I don't know if he put it into this one.
Ooh. Starting off, not bowling related. What's your unsuspected hobby? What is like a hobby that you have that someone in the bowling community may not know? I crochet. That's what I do.
Oh.
Honestly, that absolutely
Of course
suits
I
you.
do.
That
Of course you
absolutely
are an
suits
old
you.
man. I knew it.
Yes,
Oh.
correct.
I knew it.
Oh god.
Just like, see-
Let's see something. What do you got?
This
You
is a
make,
sweater.
drink koozies?
I do have.
It's got a
Yeah.
hole in it.
That
I have a
looks
coaster.
That looks like a bib.
It's like the bottom half of the sweater. I haven't finished it yet.
So is it gonna be a crop top?
Can you knit too, or just
That's
crochet?
so-
No, I
awesome.
cannot knit. I can only crochet.
Is that
I
like
do
5-pin, 10-pin there? Like they're totally different? Like
they are very different. Yes.
You're legitimately a 72-year-old man. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Like you're older
Yeah.
than Carrie.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, especially now that he shaved his beard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have a finished sweater, but it is out of reach at the moment.
you should.
Yeah, sorry.
Ah.
Can't grab it.
Toasty cozy. Toasty
It's
cozy?
really freaking hot. It's also really heavy. It's about like 15 pounds.
I like it. That's
That's so
awesome.
funny.
Thank you.
I love that.
I'm gonna look at him differently. Yeah, that's good job, Ty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Hobby.
Someone
I
else.
really want you to crochet me something now.
What would you like? A toque? I'm
A pair
pretty
of
good at toques.
shorts. Get me
Oh,
crocheted
no.
shorts.
That's where I draw the line.
What about a Peter warmer? One of those little Peter warmer things.
Jesus.
I don't want Ty to make me that.
Fuck that guy. Someone else talk.
I just. Well, okay. Well, thanks for.
Think
I was
about
offering. I did.
hobby.
I do have a funny story
Collectibles?
about hobby.
Oh,
Guess you can tell. Guess you
no,
can
I
tell a story
can't.
about the hobby.
I can't.
You got it. You got
I
it. You
can't
got
say
it.
that story.
You got it.
Oh,
Dexter.
no.
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
This is good.
Okay,
I-
if there's any kids listening, please go away for a second. So
Oh no.
I
This
used to
is
do
be
tough.
warning.
I used to
Just
do
a second.
tough
Just
mutters all the
a
time.
second. Just a second. We should put a banner up. Adult talk warning.
It's just a quick comment, but
Oh boy.
so I used to do tough mutters all the time, and that was one of my
Sorry,
hobbies for sure.
This is my hobby. Okay.
So we were gonna go down and do Tough Mudder in Drumheller, and we had a couple of people stay over at the time at my parents' place. So that was Ashley and Aaron Pennington, and they were staying over, and we were gonna volunteer on the Sunday because when you volunteer on the Sunday, you get to do another one for like $20. So it was well worth doing it. It was kind of fun to be around. So they give you like your team leader information, and your team leader kind of sends you a bio of what this person does, and then it's goes on by hobbies. And then one of her hobbies, I believe, was actually crocheting. And Tim goes, "Fuck, what a fucking loser." And my mom just turns and looks at Tim and goes, "Shut the fuck up." He's just like, "You have two hobbies, and it's complaining and masturbating." And then my mom's face just drops, goes, "What did I just say?" And I could not stop laughing. So that was my mom's best burn of her life, and it was great. So now we learned a little bit about Tim.
There you go.
Okay,
So we know
Tim's
Tim's hobbies.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Tyler, hold it together.
We know that.
So go ahead.
I
Des.
coach.
She's gonna
I
kill
coach
me
soccer.
tomorrow now, Tim. I hope she's not watching tonight. She's gonna murder me.
All right, go ahead, Daryl.
She's listening, you think? Eh? No, all good. My hobby, well, I coach both girls in soccer, but my real hobby that I love to do, I think we know, is that I love to mow my lawn.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's I have a full gallery of lawn pics after I mow it, and I take good pictures and put it on the
Is
socials.
it from your deck?
It's-
Do you take it from your deck?
No, I take it from the front. Well, I can from the deck, but the front lawn is usually my favorite because the lines of the front lawn. If you look at my Instagram profile right now, that's the profile pic. Just saying. Like,
I love it. That's good. Very nice.
look at the lines. That's what's sexy about it, right?
You leave it pretty long too, eh?
No, I've trimmed it up a little bit recently. For the winter, you got to keep it nice and low. Yeah, definitely like to get outside. Yeah.
Go ahead. Somebody click it up. Makes the deck look bigger.
Yeah, you're right. That too, Len.
You sure,
That too. Yeah.
you sure do, Len. You sure do.
Carrie?
I don't have any hobbies, I don't think.
Well, kind of. I mean, okay, so I don't think it's a big surprise. I'm a little nerdy. I like playing video games, but I also love disc golfing in the summer too. Something different. It's fun. Gets me outside, and if you get pissed off, well, it's free, and if you get pissed off, you could just leave, which is really nice. But it's good. It's become a bit of an
mine
addiction.
would just be all sports related too, I think.
Yeah.
What is one sport that you played in an organized fashion that might surprise people?
Well,
Organized.
they all know I'm a ball player, so that doesn't. What wouldn't they know? I almost won the Alberta Open Junior program for golf.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Almost.
You can golf, Terry?
I collapsed on hole 10. I used to good, Daryl. When I was 15, 16 years old, I was pretty good, yeah.
Nice.
Not so much anymore.
I don't think that's how it works, Len. Not legally, anyways.
Okay. Another spin.
Yikes.
Tim, no, hold on. Oh,
Tim's was
are you actually
masturbating. You
counting?
already know. Yeah.
Are you actually
Yes.
counting those as your hobbies? Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Complaining and jerking off. Yeah. That was the quote.
You could say collecting sports memorabilia, Tim, because you have a shit ton of it.
I do.
Sure. Okay, this one's from Larissa Long. What is your must-play songs during a tournament?
Oh,
During?
Because this is because she wears earbuds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is this during or leading up to? Because some of us don't listen
During.
to music while we're playing.
It's whatever's most relevant for you.
it depends for me. Like I'll kind of like pick a song that's like upbeat and heavier. Like when I'm arriving, I don't listen to music while I'm there, but like when I'm arriving, I'll pick one. But it's whatever is like most relevant to me at that time. or what I'm kind of into. So like honestly, but before like major tournaments lately, it's been Sync by Brand New, and like Trainwreck by Death from Above 1979, stuff like that.
Cool.
Can we all guess what Tim's is? It's a T Swift song for sure.
No, I do love T Swift, but
Shake it off.
no, I like slower songs to be honest with you. Like not like
No,
like
we have
this-
no idea.
not like
One
like
that you could slow dance to, Tim?
no, not like that. But I
Oh.
do like slower ones because I find if I'm listening to a little bit more of an upbeat song, my adrenaline, everything's. Oh yeah, I like Shania Twain. Yeah, but the last one was Down Here Normally from Tim McGraw. I like that one. But something like that kind of pace where it's not so like so tough for me because I always have if higher pace, I just absolutely go too fast and then my rhythm's wrong. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's fine.
DB, what's your
Yeah, only
On your
I'm not much of a music guy. I feel like there's probably been times some stuff has come to mind. There's a couple that probably come to mind. I remember one time, probably in open qualifying, and it was a good old Journey, Don't Stop Believing, right? You just kind of get that your tune in your head, and you kind of just kind of keep going through it. But I remember specifically 2003 Open Provincials. It was in Red Deer at Heritage, and we had Sean Smith with Drive With Me and Mark Johnstone, and there was a song, Eddie Rabbit. Probably nobody knows what it is, but it was a song that Smitty had for us, and that became our theme song for that weekend. And it just had a great beat to it, and we would just get in the car in the morning and just kind of sing along and have a hilarious time. And so that was kind of the song that we sort of went back to throughout the tournament, kind of thing. That was the thing. And you got to put on Eddie Rabbit, man. So if I could find it, or I'll text him and ask him what the actual song is, and maybe we'll find it and play for us someday.
That's cool.
But
On the way to the
Other than
Open
that,
Nationals
it's
every
random
day
beat.
this year, it was I think it was Brad and Kemp that were riding with me, and we sang we listened to "Roll Out" by Ludacris every day. It was great.
Jesus. I remember 2013 Open Provincials. It was Macklemore Thrift Shop. I'm really putting it. And then I remember the last year with Bruce. We always drove with Bruce, and we what was that song? Like don't let me down, Bruce. Right? That and Bruce would yell at Bruce every time in the car. So every time that song comes on, I think about Bruce doing that. I don't know. It just that's cool. Anyways, Carrie, Tyler.
you go first.
Yeah, my latest one that I listened to just before we start bowling is 21 Gun Salute by Catch Your Breath, I believe.
I have two moods. It's either like a punk rock or rap adjacent. So currently is My House by Beyonce. Shocker, right?
What's rap adjacent?
like
Like,
you mean
I'm not like
pop.
not quite. Like I'm not like a 21 Savage or like a Tupac fan, but like what's his name? Jack Harlow, Beyonce. And then I really like the Home Team, which is like a newish punk rock band. I listened to like their whole album before bowling.
So I do have a question for you guys. What do you feel about headphones in while bowling?
They're fine. I don't care.
No, but like, does it gain them an advantage? Like, I don't care either way, but like as a bowler, I don't think I ever need that because I can tune it out. I've never listened to music before while bowling, so I don't like. Is it just to tune things out or to stay in the mode, stay in the in the zone? Like, I don't know what.
Yeah, keep
It's
the same
not a rude
mindset.
thing. I just
No, I like. I don't do it for bowling, but I do like while working out. Like most of the time, it'll be like I'll have the same song on repeat the whole time, and it just kind of keeps me in the same sort of headspace the whole time. I think that's a big part of it, especially if you're like trying to find like a good rhythm for things. Then it's helpful. Yeah.
I think if it's a tempo thing, it probably could be helpful for sure. I don't think music in general is a big issue, but I don't know. Is it an aid? It might be.
That's sort of sometimes I feel like it, right?
Yeah. Oh, for
And
sure.
certain people, and not all people. I think certain people,
But
right?
think of it this way. So, like, okay, so here, you're listening to music, you shoot front 10. You shoot front 11. Or, yeah, you shoot front 9, you shoot front 10, you shoot front 11. And then, like, the whole scenario where, like, everybody just stops bowling, which we try to push people to not do. But that scenario's gone, right? Because, like, you can't tell that nobody's listening, right? So, I know you can't tell that nobody's talking, you can't tell that nobody's moving because you still just have that song going. I think it's a benefit there, but I really think that's probably the only time that's like a major benefit to me.
Yeah, I understand why it's not allowed in some associations and allowed in some others. There obviously is there is a conflict. So
Yeah.
is it proper? I don't know. That's a debate for somebody that's willing to fight that battle. But I
debate
really
night.
don't think there is. Yeah.
I don't
Spin
like
the wheel
it
night.
from a playing. If you want to use it while you're in behind, but not when you're on the lanes and throwing the ball or in the game. I think about any other professional sport. When you're playing tennis, for example, or if you're golfing, you don't see tours, or members playing with their headphones in. But maybe while they're in behind or waiting to tee off, maybe they can listen to music or something. But maybe not. I'm not sure if you're allowed to or not. But I just don't. Nobody else is allowing it, so why should they be having to have it while you're on the approach throwing the ball? I feel like just for those reasons, mental, words of affirmation, good things to say to yourself, or all these things like you got somebody in your ear. I don't like it. I think you got to get out there and do it on your own.
That being said, I would love it if we just like let the music ride more often. Like, bowling is way more fun when the music's actually playing in the center. I wish we could just do that more often.
Yeah, I don't mind that from the music in the center. I mean, maybe not death metal music or anything, but
No Tic Tac music, Brad.
Why not?
Yeah, like if there's some ambiance or something going on, I don't mind music. Like on Pro League guys, I certainly like music there. So there's a question for you guys, Dream Crushers, on Sunday morning, the first game. Did somebody turn off the music because it was playing during warm up and before and all the stuff, and all of a sudden 9 o'clock hit and the music was off. And I don't know.
To be
if
honest with you, we did because it's just because of the background music. We don't have it
just
have an
concerns
issue
for
with it.
copyrights, right? Because if it picks up that sound, then it gets flagged on YouTube, and then either all the audio's gone or the video's gone. So it's just
That's the only reason why we shut it off. Yeah.
Well, and that's the main reason for WCBT, like because of copyright issues, right? So there is reasons behind it for live streaming reasons, but for the tournament reasons, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then you get some people don't like that type of music. So is it fair to them that they have to sit through that while other people are happy while they're playing? Like, music shouldn't have that effect on people, but we all know it does. That's the reason why people listen to music is adjust their emotions, adjust everything, right? So
if people started playing Christmas music during a tournament, I would stab 17 people in that building.
Yeah.
Like,
Correct.
so.
And Len's comment there that you know of, Len, and I mean, it's not like bowling does either, right? We have it in our rule books and all stuff like that. There's just, I don't think we're actively testing for it or, like at the Open Nationals or Masters Nationals, how many people do you think are taking gummies or ripping on their pen in the bathroom? I guarantee you more than one, right? But we're not out there testing or, doing this. People are, same with drinking. You're not allowed to drink, but who knows if they're not taking a couple or having a couple shots beforehand or mix it into their actual drink. There's just no testing. So it's not like we're technically not allowing it either, but
Yeah.
there's no policing of it. So which is good.
I'll taste everyone's drink.
Tim, is that C5 rule the same now that marijuana has been, or cannabis has been made legal?
I may have to look at it. I think we did discuss it. I think it's pretty similar.
Is it like illegal substances?
No. If I remember correctly, it was just turned into like an alcohol thing. So rip on that pen when you're off. All right, let's bring up another topic.
Yeah.
I found out the song.
Just-
I messaged Smitty, and it was not the one that the guys mentioned up there. I Love a Rainy Night. It is Driving My Life Away by Eddie Rabbit. Driving Your Life Away by Eddie Rabbit. Something like that.
Use of drugs. No participant or tournament official shall bowl or perform their duties under the influence of illegal or street drugs. So it is basically the same as alcohol at that point, but I mean it's still in your tournament officials, like, you know, nationals. You can't be drinking while playing. Subsequently, I'm sure you can't be using marijuana while playing as well.
It's the same story, yeah.
Yeah, marijuana is going to be way harder to regulate when things look like candy, right?
Oh, that'd be perfect. All right.
It'd be interesting. I mean, we're not necessarily going to debate it here, but what percentage of people, are using cannabis?
Yeah.
Right?
There's yeah.
So this one's from Chantel. How do you get out of a slump? So I think for her question, it was specifically like a couple of weeks of a slump of bowling. What do you do to get out of those slumps?
I like John Greenling saying, "Just quit."
Yeah, quit for 6 years. Yeah. Put in the work. Like that. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Like if you're struggling for 4 weeks, at that point, make an effort to go in and practice, to turn off the scoring. You know, just try to figure out how to throw the ball the way you want to in that time period. Obviously, there's probably something going wrong physically or mentally, and if it is mental, make sure you go in and throw 100 good shots, so mentally you could get yourself back into a position where you feel like you could do that.
Totally. I agree.
I think put in the work.
For me, like when I was in university, I really struggled with that.
Punch your baby.
This is a Christmas episode.
So maybe not.
Or just punch,
The five
punch at him. Don't you just want to punch that guy right there?
Oh, he looks super douchey. I can't stand him.
I kind of want to make love to it. I don't know what
Oh,
to do.
God.
That's just
My
weird.
God.
That's
That is
just
weird.
Fuck that guy.
I'm having
Yeah.
internet connection issues, I guess. I keep on
Yeah, you must be.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, I agree
Sorry,
with
Ty,
that.
you were saying, yeah.
When I was in,
Go ahead.
was your name Tyler? I don't think so. Watch yourself, sir. When I was in university, I really struggled with like consistency. So I did. I went and practiced and like acknowledged. I think that's like the second part of that is like not just putting in the work, but like trying to take the time to acknowledge what is going wrong. If it is a physical part of your game, fix that physical thing. Or if it's mental, like recognize, hey, I'm in a university degree program. Like I don't have the attention span that I normally do because of finals or midterms or whatever it is. So it's, I think a lot of it is just practicing like self-awareness with yourself.
This podcast is horrible. Our comments are horrible.
So it's normal.
I'm glad we got some serious topics here because like everything else is going sideways.
I will say I agree with Dex and Ty to some extent. Obviously, Carrie and I can say our league scores are maybe not the best, but yeah, you have to understand something. If you're comparing your league or if you're struggling for 3 or 4 weeks, it's just league, right? It's just league. At the end of the day, you're supposed to take your reps in and try to figure out what you're doing and what you're not doing. But you can't take it like it's the end all be all. It doesn't make or break you. And these people that go in and think that league is just like, if you have a bad night, it's going to make or break your week. Like, guys, there's other things. There's hobbies like crocheting and other things out there. And I just think complaining and the other thing. But
Mowing your lawn.
But I'm just saying that I really have a hard time with people taking it to heart, you're going to have good and you're going to have bad. And it just ebbs and flows. And I think if you can learn, like throw the extra practice in, or if you can go in and, and when you're our bowling league, to find positives out of it. Like, you don't make $1 million. You don't.
No,
Like,
for sure.
no
okay.
point in.
But that could make or break their season if they're playing like an in-house tournament during their league. Like they're looking to break out of that slump so they can be better in league for maybe a in-house tournament or something like that, right? You gotta look at it that way too.
And if you have 3 or 4 bad weeks of league, your confidence is going to be shot. Not everybody can shoot 750 for 4 the week before TPC and then go out and win. like not everybody can average 187.5 for 4 games and then go win TPC. Like that's
What do you say? I'm just gifted.
You're
something.
one of a kind.
So you could rebuild your whole game, because that's what I did when I was in a slump. Move from a backup to a hook and change lines and everything and spend a summer fixing it and then come back better next year. But I wouldn't recommend it. It really sucks.
It's not a mid-season strategy. DB, any advice?
Not a whole lot to add. I mean, I'm probably on the original John Greenlee comment of just quit for a little while. I've been in many slumps in my career, but I've always had a tough time recognizing that and sort of what to do to get out of it. So I've sort of taken it ebbs and flows of how I take it seriously, but probably, I think the mental mindset is probably a big thing. Just not taking it too serious, just getting out there. And the right answer is obviously what Dexter started with, is you just got to go and throw a whole bunch of balls and really determine what it is that you're trying to achieve and what you're trying, like what's the goals here, and find little wins out of it. Like okay, I hit the middle 5 times. Perfect. Give yourself a pat in the back, right? Somewhat maybe not taking it too serious. There's a couple of different ways to look at it, but yeah, I've certainly been in a lot. I've quit and I've stepped away. I've stepped back from the game because I'm not happy with my physical ability, or B, my mental side of things. So sometimes it just takes a reset, and you gotta move away and then come back at it when you're mentally and physically ready to go.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Throwing shoes, yeah, you bet, Gary. I remember bowling, guys, before my first semi-retirement and Sunday night league, I would probably bowl in socks for half the weeks. I'd get so frustrated, 2-3 games in, and I'd take my shoes off and just chuck them to the back, and I'd bowl in socks. I mean, that's a terrible attitude, right? But it's just the way that I couldn't cope anymore with the struggles that I was going through. So instead, I would just take my shoes off and I'd bowl in socks and be a pouty baby. But that's not the right way to do it. So
the other thing is, if you're struggling, maybe just take a week off.
Oh man,
right?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
take a week off, and you know what? Honestly, sometimes it's better.
Season.
Sometimes
We
it's
have
better to
52
come back
weeks of
and
bowling now.
then if you don't like that week off, take another one and take another one and take another one, and you're John
And then
Green.
retire.
Yeah. But honestly, take a week off. It helps.
Are you drinking coffee at 8:00 at night?
I'm old, Ty.
How do you sleep?
Caffeine has zero
Sleep
effect
is for
on
the
me.
weak.
No, I
I
love
can-
sleep.
I can shotgun a monster before bed and go to sleep.
Yeah, but you also
boy.
take like 150 grams of weed gummies, so like, I'm not.
Yeah, so like really, he's
You
need-
offsetting.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Really?
like 10
Really, Dex?
milligrams
Do you?
max. 10 max.
really,
Dexter's like Snorlax.
have you ever bowled?
No, I haven't. I have contemplated it though. I feel like that actually might be like beneficial, but I haven't. I have not. Only ever at nighttime, really. Actually, no. I'm sorry. Only at nighttime to sleep, and the only other time that I've ever actually just used it was when we made the 5-pin U store, and you were like, "Hey, make a 5-pin U store." I'm like, "Hey, I've never done this before," and then I used it, and I zoned in, and 4 hours later it was done.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
It was fantastic.
Next wheel.
Oh Lord. Someone else.
Hopefully, there's good questions coming up.
I hope we don't get any Katie Rayner suggestions just
that would
because
be
of how
great.
whiny
We can
she
skip
was
over
today.
You're gonna get it right now.
No. This is from The Fish.
No.
The counterpin. Should it come back?
No.
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 For a tournament.
Oh yeah,
I think for a
Yeah,
tournament
you
it would
run
be
it for a
cool to do
tournament.
it for a tournament,
Sure.
not full time. So remind me, it had to be the left 2-pin?
If
It had
you're
to be there in
right-handed, it
order
was left 2-pin. If you were left-handed, it was right 2-pin.
What if you're Greg
and it
Giggle?
had to go down in order to count. So what if it didn't go down
Wherever
the
your
first
ball-
ball?
You
And
know,
zero.
you just had to get it within your 3 balls if you wanted to score any points in that frame.
Right.
What if
Otherwise,
you're
you
a
got
scratch
0.
player and dominant hand doesn't matter?
It's whatever your league average is with.
Whatever hand you're using for that ball.
If you're a scratch player, you don't need to pick a hand.
Yeah,
So
I think
what is the
you would have to-
counterpin?
Whatever
have
hand
to
What
you
about
use for
Lucas
that frame.
McDonald, who throws with two hands?
You don't have to use the same hand the whole frame.
Well, then, if the counterpin was still around, you would have to make
Okay.
that designation.
What about-
I think in the
what-
rule
Down
book.
the rule. And that's
What
why we
about-
don't
what-
use a counterpin.
What about that pitcher? Remember, he used to go left, right, and he played for the Blue Jays. They started with the V Verdette
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Vin
and then
Devi.
they made a rule. He can't
Yeah,
do that.
he has to
Batting.
choose first. Yeah.
Yes. So there's that.
What
but
year did
what
they
I'm
get
saying,
rid of the counterpin?
I think the 60s, early 60s.
Yeah.
Don Sim, do you
Before
know
our
what year
time.
did they get rid of the
Yeah,
counterpin?
Don
It was
Don
around
was
there.
one of them who got rid of it.
Yeah.
I think
Don
it's
was
good that
started
we
in
got
the-
rid of it. I mean, it's and
It was just
make for an
progressing.
interesting tournament, right? Or a Baker's event or something like that. But boy, that would be no.
I also
That
think it would
was-
be fun to do a tournament with like the original scoring because there was like different variations of the scoring initially, right? And at one point it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I've
And I
also
think-
heard that.
I think that would be wild. Unfortunately, the only place that you could do it in the country would, unless you do it manual scoring, but the only place you could do that in the country would be Nebs because he will just write it for you. But outside of that, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the fastest 7 minutes of like herd mentality ever. Because you all said no, and then DB said, "What about a tournament?" Oh yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Oh,
why
a
not?
tournament I think would be fun every once in a while.
I just thought you meant like counterpin as like
Forever.
it's coming back and that's what
It's
we're
like-
going to use. And like, no, that's dumb.
It's like
No, I think
we've had this conversation before with like Jeff England and like the 2-ball format sort of thing. Somebody else like talked to me about that like last week too, and I'm like, yeah, honestly, sure, that's not a bad idea, but if we make that rule change, who's paying for everyone getting new scoring systems? Who's doing that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
That's
we'd
cool.
have to. So I don't think our scoring system's gonna change anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
it's Vermilion. I think Vermilion is manual score.
I think maybe.
Are they
No, I think
still-
there's computer.
Is that a computer? Is it Vagerville? Vagerville. is-
Vagerville. No, Vagerville. Yeah, they have their own. It's called the iPad. That's
Oh.
their automatic.
Right.
Fair.
That's right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, it's manual. There you go.
Vermilion is manual. So yeah, a little bit easier to do counterpin that way. Okay. Moving on. Next one. Oh,
Yeah.
you already pulled it up. Perfect. Thank you.
You pulled it out. Yeah.
Pulled it up. Jesus, turn your hearing aid
I
up.
have to do that too, yeah.
Oh, we just talked about this.
No.
Moving on. No,
Moving on.
Nobody has
Started or finished?
Finished.
both.
Yeah, good call.
Well, we did talk about it.
This was
Why
a
is it
good
always
one.
gray?
I don't know.
Oh,
What's working?
I love this.
So this is from Charlotte,
Charlotte.
and she has this discussion with Mitch Davies apparently on the regular.
It's not a discussion. It's just that it's been a while. It's probably been a decade since this happened. But at one point, Mitch turned and looked at Charlotte and said, "You're all drive and no talent."
Oh wow.
So that's been the joke forever. Just the joke. Like every time I see her, I'll be like, "Hey,
What?
is the talent coming along?" Or like what?
There's a way to
So
look at
fun.
it. Like, drive can create talent, but
Yes.
talent can't create drive.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm all drive. I agree with
You
drive.
think about the Kobe Bryants and these guys who were up at 4 a.m. and they were going to work out before the team even came in to work out, and just put in the time and put in the effort and had the drive, and that's what creates the talent over time.
Michael
you know,
Jordan was
there's-
the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. There's a guy who got cut from his high school team. I think drive is more important, and I think the telling side of that is the pure variety of styles that we have. Right, there are so many different ways to throw the bowling ball, and it works differently for everybody else. If it was all talent, then it'd be one specific way of doing it that's like most optimal. But you see people having like really obscure styles, but they've put in so much work that it's so consistent it works, right? So I think I believe drive is more important.
I think there's somebody on tour right now, like Matt Harms, who is having a ton of success because he's playing in everything, right? He's got the drive and he's having success. So, anyways, there's an example for you.
Yeah, Carrie and I kind of chatted about this in Winnipeg, that there was a ton of bowlers out of Central Alberta who were incredibly talented, and they don't play anymore. Either they didn't have the drive, or the drive changed because they had families and they grew up. I think there's a number of people, even within our own game, that like are incredibly talented and will be, but they just don't have the drive.
Okay, prime example in Ontario. I've never met the guy, right? But Mark Goulet is one of the most talented people I hear out there. Yep. He's busy with life and he doesn't have the drive to play, right? At the moment, right? But I guarantee you he will when he gets back. It's just different things there, right?
That's life situation. That's not so much a drive, right? I would think, but
yeah. But I do think drive is the most important. You see a lot of people out there, like I'll throw them out. You know, Daryl, like your nephew, Christian Murphy. Christian's put a lot of time in his game this year, and he's raised his average by over 50, right? And that's pure drive. And he obviously talent comes with it, but he's put the time in to create what he got. So it goes that way, I think. Very important. Yeah.
Hundy P.
P.
Moving on?
Yeah. Fuck, we're smashing this.
Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Okay, this one is from Tyson. So this one I didn't really understand. I think I got it right. So as in like a golf match play is like a stroke game, I believe. I don't watch enough golf. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think he's trying to get at like it's as many strokes as to clear all the pins off the deck, and then you play a game that way.
But didn't it say to get to a certain score too?
That's what I put in because I didn't understand the the other part of it. I think in bowling it makes more sense to play to a certain score because we only have 5 pins on the deck.
Right.
Yeah, but sometimes it takes 5 balls, Ty.
For old people, maybe.
There's two ways. If you're looking at a ties way, I don't mind that. So, like, hey, let's say your target score is 300, and you see how many balls it takes for a person to get to 300, and then that match is over, right? It could take you 40 balls.
Darts style.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Or the other way to look at it, too, is kind of the 9-pin format. I don't know if anybody out there, and if you haven't, look it up. So 9-pin bowling was the original kind of bowling there was.
I gotta work on my German if I'm gonna watch 9-pin.
It's not just German. There's actual worlds
where
for
they
it too. It's in like Czechoslovakia and all those places. But 9-pin bowling, I believe, if I remember right, in the tournaments you get 100 balls, and you just throw 100 balls, and you knock down as many pins as you can in that. But if you knock down 8 pins and you still have that 1 pin standing, you throw at that pin as many times as it takes to knock it down before you get a full set again.
It's like a cricket style.
Kind of, yeah. So, yeah.
I don't mind. I see Tyson's idea, like 10 frames. So in the first frame, if you punch a head pin and you cherry the 2 threes, you still got to get the 2, so now you got 5. If you get a strike, it's 1, right? Yeah. The second frame, if you spare,
so like a perfect score is 12.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
correct.
Your worst score would be 30.
Yeah, I don't mind that either.
It could be more than that, right? Because
it could be more than that. It could be.
Yeah.
Well, he's saying 10.
Well, you don't get to.
No, but
you don't
10
just get 3 frames.
It could still take you 7 balls and knock down all 5 pins in 1 frame.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess if you're missing,
it's lowest score wins after 10 frames, right? But you would have to figure out the 10th frame rule, right? Is it just 1 set of pins, or is it Three sets of pins.
I think it would have to be one set.
I would think so. Okay. So yeah,
I don't mind that. I don't mind that idea at all, actually.
Yeah,
We're
for
just
sure.
coming up with a whole bunch of tournaments that y'all can run in your centers over the summer.
Yo.
With manual scoring.
Scoring, yeah.
All with manual scoring.
Yeah.
But I definitely recommend looking up 9-pin if you get a chance. It's fun. It's different.
so what is your guys' thoughts on that style?
I think
That's
it'd be
question
fun.
Oh, I
think it'd be fun.
I
It's
think
too
it'd
much
be good.
math. I'm out.
It's
I-
one ball.
Sorry,
at a
I'm out.
time.
I'm out. I'm
I'm
out.
not gonna lie. I would love to see that person miss that corner 12 times in one frame and not blow up.
Just get so frustrated at missing it time after time after time.
Oh, I would love it. And
Okay, that's fair. I would pay to watch that.
That's when violence happens again.
Imagine like Brad. All the
We
words
should-
that came out of his mouth.
He doesn't leave a lot of
we
pins.
should live stream this so I can't lose the footage again.
You've never lost the footage.
Oh no, it's somewhere.
It is somewhere. You have never
can't-
lost that footage.
I can't believe I puked in a garbage bin right after that, and that
Yeah, it's
Never-
never seen the light of day, Tim. Nobody is gonna believe that you ever beat everybody at a strike derby. That's dumb.
well, I cheated, but I did it though. You then grabbed two balls at once and threw them down two different lanes. But I did it, and I do that.
Score? This isn't casual Sunday golf, Steve Barker. It's you don't get a snowman on a par 4. That isn't the max.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's till
that's
you
how
knock
I
it all
golf.
down.
That's my golf. Yeah. Okay, I'm back on board. I'm in. I'm
Double
in.
par is the highest you can get. That's that's where we're going with it.
Good suggestion. Very unique. I never would have.
I like it. I would
I
love
like
to
it too.
play a mini tournament like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You'd find out who your best pin shooters are. Pinners
Pinners are winners.
No, strikers still win this, guys. Come on.
Yeah, that's
strikers
true. Well,
still
no,
win
because
it.
you're not throwing a perfect game. That
You might.
that striker might really run into a problem. Pick that 3-pin, bud.
Darcy, that is not very
Ooh.
good.
Why?
I hope there's a whole lot of water.
I'm not a golfer. I'm a bowler, but I feel like that's not good.
And I wouldn't be proud of it.
So we were talking about hobbies earlier, and I had mentioned that I was a junior golfer. So I blew up on hole 10, and I shot a 10, Darcy, and that killed me for the whole tournament. So a 29, yeah, that's
Trees.
risky.
Oh, I love to play golf in the trees.
Trees.
Just can't get
You
out.
should try to avoid those. You're
Just
not
like
trying
in
to make
skiing.
a fort.
The foot wedge, Darcy. The foot wedge.
Yes. All right.
Maybe we need a 5-pin universe golf match in the summer.
Oh God.
Yeah.
What's my handicap?
By 6.
Oh, 6. That sucks. Your handicap would be yourself, Ty. I've seen you golf.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's actually not bad. You're actually not horrible.
I'm athletic enough to look like I know how to golf, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So Michaela Turner Mayo asks, "What do you want out of a coach?"
I want positivity, support, and communication.
I said coach, not a therapist.
Yeah.
But good answer.
I just don't want people like focusing on the negative with shit. It just doesn't work. I want
Yeah.
support. Be like, hey, it's all right. Like the team's got you. And more than that, I just want somebody to be like communicate. Be like, hey, do you want something? And if you want something, give it to me. If you don't want something at that moment, don't have it, or just talk back and forth about what's going on. But I think communication is really key.
Totally. I am a little bit more technical. I like a coach that has a good understanding of the game at a physical level, because as much as people have told me time and time again, I throw a perfect ball, I do not. I mess it up a lot of the time. And I don't really know how to notice that in myself. So sometimes I need someone who can like actually break down an approach and be like, this is where you're going wrong. And I need them to be confident enough to tell me that, because I've had a couple of coaches who are like, oh, you're okay, you can figure it out. Like even through YBC, like coaches that are just like, oh, follow through. I'm like, follow through.
Smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow through's never been my problem.
No. I can tell you what your problem is.
I don't. You're not a coach. You're not my coach.
I
I
agree.
put Ty in
It
Winnipeg. I told him to try a new bowling ball. That's Dexter's go-to, and it worked for Ty. So that's
It
There
did.
you go. Did you tuck your pinky under?
No, I did not.
Ah, that's a shame.
I've done that on Sunday nights a couple times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know what? You punch a couple of times. Sometimes it's nice just, you're not going to punch with it. It's going to move. It's going to move on you.
It will. Carrie, what do you want out of a coach?
kind of same lines as you. Positivity is number one. I don't need to hear negative. I'm already negative out on the lane. So positivity is number one. And technical. Be able to recognize what I'm missing because I can't pick it up myself.
For sure.
Yeah.
DB?
Yeah, same things. I think the technical is a huge thing. Just somebody to be able to talk through the nuances of maybe the approach, maybe the pinfall. Hey, are you noticing that this ball was working, or or just picking up on little things, because that's sort of the way I'm seeing and looking at things. So somebody can talk your way through it, and then notice on what you're doing. Coach right now, for example, tell me use your legs. I never really thought about using your legs, but of course, powering into it. I think if you, Carrie and Dexter, you're both big planters, right? Whereas I've always been a slider, but yet now when I focus on, pushing hard with that left, quad, like, oh yeah, you're getting some finish and you'll be able to power through it. So it's a big thing for that technical side of things, but the communication and the understanding of who the person is and who the team is that you're on, and being able to communicate in the proper way is good. But nobody needs the negativity and telling you're garbage, because you're right, Carrie, we're already hard enough as it is on ourselves. So there's a time to kick in the butt a little bit, but there's also a time to make sure that you're focused in what you're doing and how it's going. So tough job,
Resident,
right? Overall. Yeah.
Resident coach Tim Wiseman.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably about half of that, but I think being a leader is one of the main ones there. To add to it, I think if you're down in that pit, like, obviously it kind of goes hand in hand with positivity, communication, all that stuff. But you already have a lot on your plate as a team, and I think you being a leader down there, being positive, being just like it, sometimes it's just saying the right things, right? And I think sometimes in a coach, for maybe for us, for the Opens and the Masters, we're very fortunate to have it. But I do agree, experience. Having somebody who's been in that pit before, knows what it's like to be in that pit, right? And I think sometimes it's nice to have somebody that's won before down there too, because they know what it takes to win. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time. But Merry Christmas, Bradford, Chris.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
But I think technical is important, but I think the positivity and the other stuff is really more important, the most part, where we are at our game.
For sure. I think for the elite level, or the national level, where you're making polls, and now with Pro League, and Desiree's probably going to kill me for giving away her secrets, but something that is so incredibly important for a team is having trust in a coach that's confident and makes polls that they know they want to make.
So true.
If you have a coach who sits there and waits and thinks, and then they pull and they're like, I'm going to take you out, that's not quite what a team needs, right? They need a leader, like Tim said, a leader that's going to say, this is the pull we're making, and I have faith it's going to work. And that just empowers your bowler to go out and play like it's going to work.
And I'm not saying from my experience last year, I know Daryl's coach too. Not that I was perfect by any means. There's far from that. But I felt as a player, I like to have an explanation why I got pulled, or the reason for it, or just to have an open dialogue on it. Last thing you do is, hey, you get pulled. And then he's like, whoa, no, this is the reason why. But don't take that the bad way, because you know what? I think most times you're going to have another shot to go back in again, right? It's not going to be just you're sitting on the bench. I really disagree with sitting on the bench and letting him ride. but that, and I just think, I also don't think it's, when you're talking about polls, I really think, don't be afraid not to pull somebody. Because just because you have the poll doesn't mean you have to pull somebody, right?
Yeah.
You can look back, you
Again,
can see how the match is going.
Just be confident with your decision. And like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, nobody expects you to make perfect decisions because you're not going to
Yeah.
be. That's just an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. But be confident in your pulse because if you're not, you're not giving anybody a chance.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. All right. Still no Katie Rayner. She is going to be so mad.
Why are you speak of it? You're just jinxing it. Jesus.
Because I kind of want to give her one. Oh, and this might be it. Oh, no, we're good. Never mind.
No.
So Danielle Armstrong wants to know, what are the best stretches for longer tournaments?
I'm drinking beer. I don't stretch. I warm up.
Fair.
This is Tyler. Tyler, why are you hesitating? This is your
I was waiting in case anyone else had any suggestions.
No, this is your question, the ladder.
Yeah, don't do what I do. I don't stretch, which is a horrible idea. When we look at the game, you have to think about like what body parts are we using mostly in repetitive fashions. That's going to be your glutes, your quads, and your low back to keep you in that like takeoff position when you're following through. Jefferson curls, which technically isn't a stretch, but they're really good for your low back. Those are awesome to do. Any kind of figure four, or sometimes it's called a whale tail stretch, if you Google it.
Can you show it to us? Why don't you stand
Nope,
up and show us?
I cannot. Good try, Tim. There's a Google machine for a reason. Box squat stretch, your couch stretches are really great. Child's pose, cat cow, thread the needle, anything to get your spine moving. You also want to be doing that between or like while you're bowling, right? We've all had that moment where you're waiting 5-10 minutes because a lane breaks down. And then you go to throw your next game and you're like, oh God, that hurt a lot. Bodies stiffen up really fast, especially when they are running out of energy. Physiologically, like it's not great. So yeah, if you can stay moving. And the best way to do that is by stretching or just working on like mobility stretches, not just like static things.
So walking around.
Yeah, walking around is great as long as you're like keeping the fuel going. I would probably recommend like seated stretching, or
Okay,
just
so
like standing in one spot and like moving and like stretching and rotating.
So if I'm playing lots of games and I sit down, I'm going to seize up. So,
But that's why you move while you sit down, Tim. Use your listening ears.
okay. So
You can stretch while you're sitting.
Stretch in like sitting positions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Good one, Tyler.
It's pretty
Two
easy to
Cs.
stretch your lower back when you're in a sitting position.
Yeah. I do that all the time, 15 times a day on my phone.
You sit on the crapper, yeah.
Yeah. I try to do my best thinking, guys.
Lord Jesus. Beer curls are great for strengthening, and yes, we do need our arms. So I strongly recommend you support your local center by performing many beer curls.
All right. Next one.
Wow, I do get to use my degree. It's so good.
Yeah.
Barely.
Facts. Ooh. Oh, there it is. Katie Rayner with the most basic question you can ask. What are your bowling superstitions? Tim?
I have lots.
Fucking White Sox.
White socks. 100% white socks. They have to go on my left foot first and then my right foot. And then I pick out my lucky clothes the night before. And I have that all there. And I will listen to some music or whatever, preferably like country or something like that. When I go bowling, I have the same routine every time. Always have to wipe off the shoe, reset the pins. I love resetting the pins. My most favorite part of my superstitious. And I usually eat the same. If I go to the same tournament, I eat the same kind of meal. So we go play Masters on Saturday. You chug 5 beers before you go. But no, I'm pretty superstitious on a lot of stuff. I don't. Oh, you've seen it, Tyler. My water bottle. When I turn my water bottle a certain way, if I'm playing well, I have
You
my top.
Rafael Nadal it?
I go like
I have not seen that.
I do that. Yeah, yeah. I do that. Yeah.
I agree with Len. I believe it's bad luck to be superstitious.
You're all a bunch of freaking idiots.
The only one that I have, well, it's not even a superstition. I just like to have the lettering on my bowling ball going the right way, and then I move it twice, and then I'll go. That's about it. Not much else.
DB, you have any superstitions?
You're muted.
Oh.
Yeah, same as Dex. I kind of have a spot on the ball that I'll hold the whole time. You know, I like to have my towel with me in my pocket. I'll do a little slide, sort of pre-slide, to make sure my foot is, nothing on it. But other than that, only if I'm playing well. If I'm, 2, 3, 4 strikes in a row, of course, you're not going to go pee. We can't map that, right? But I'm not too crazy on the superstitions for sure.
Fair enough.
Superstitious tie?
No, don't believe in it. The
Well,
only
stitious tie?
one, the only one that I will maybe give people is I believe the ball that I'm supposed to throw is the ball that's closest to me on the ball return.
Oh,
But I will
means-
also ditch that.
If you're throwing strikes, that means you're using a different one every time.
Yep. I typically don't throw the same ball.
What about... Let's go, sluts.
That was not a superstition until it started working.
It didn't work at Masters. So you
No,
fix
that team was not slutty
Time
behavior.
talks dirty to us in the pit.
Oh wait, remember our superstition?
No, I don't want to talk about that. I will
Oh.
kick you off this podcast again.
If you want to talk about weird, like Weber's odd. Weber has tons of superstitions.
No.
And the second you do something to him and he throws a strike, you got to keep doing it. And like, this is the greatest one ever. Open one year,
2019.
he was struggling. He was having a hard time.
twist.
He was like really punching lots. And just before he went up on the lanes, he turned and looked at me, and I just grabbed both of his nipples as hard as I could. Goes up there, throws a strike. He's like, son of a bitch.
Here we go.
So for like the next 3 games, every time he goes up there they are. So we'll still break that out every once in a while.
No, well, I do remember we used the term "right in the dick." I've used that superstitiously. I did do give Tyler kisses in the morning on the cheek. Sometimes it works well.
Awful.
This one,
horrible.
if somebody punches beside you,
No.
do you go?
Yeah.
Mitch
wait.
Davies does. I go. Mitch Davies
I
wait.
Okay. I'm probably gonna punch a head pin anyways, so I might as well just go.
The Sunday in Winnipeg this year, I did, because one person punched to the right of me, one person punched to the left of me, I did back off the lane. I punched anyways, so there's no point
Yeah.
waiting.
So I think it's all about headspace for that, right? And I understand why people don't want to, because they're like, hey, I've just seen 2 punches. I don't want to go punch. But there was a point in the last 2 years where I went from that headspace to being like, I see 2 punches around me, and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is an opportunity. In my head, I'm like, let's go throw a bomb. And whether what just happened?
My dog just took out something. What are you doing,
exactly, Len. And whether I'm facing those people or not, I see it and I'm just like, yeah, let's go. This is my chance. This is an opening. So yeah.
Oh, furry friend.
Yeah.
Welcome.
She wants up.
Are
on
we
my
going to
lap.
spin the wheel one more time, or are we going to hit
Oh,
our
should
last
we-
topic here?
No, it's
We should hit our last one. No, do you think it's gonna take 15 minutes for the last one?
No, it depends.
Oh,
Hey,
what is
how's it
happening?
going? Meant to hit
Okay.
that button.
One more spin. Fine. Oh, please. Oh, no. An AI bowling story. Okay, this will go fast. So a couple of weeks ago, I asked the podcast members to submit a series of words And then because AI is taking over, I had AI write us a bowling Mad Lib. Oh, and I have to find it because I have too many notes on my phone. So, once upon a time, in an adorable little town, a group of friends, Tim, Dexter, Carrie, Tyler, Katie, and Tracy, decided to go 5-pin bowling. They called themselves the Cuckoos because they were known for their silly antics. As they entered the bowling alley, they noticed the lanes were painted a painful shade of green, which made everyone's eyes water. The gang reserved lane 32 and couldn't resist cracking some puns about the number. While playing, Tim took a punishing approach to his throws. He swung the ball between his legs, yelled "pussy," which was his signature move, and somehow managed to get a strike. Dexter, always the competitive one, attempted a daring move by spinning in a circle before releasing the ball. The result, a spectacular spare that left everyone in awe. Tyler, with his infectious laughter, couldn't contain himself when Katie accidentally knocked over a pin with her elbow. The laughter was so contagious that soon the entire bowling alley joined in. Carrie, the daredevil of the group, decided to try a cartwheel down the lane after his turn. Much to everyone's surprise, he gracefully executed the acrobatic move, narrowly avoiding the gutter. Tracy, the strategic thinker, offered helpful tips to improve everyone's game, though her advice often resulted in more laughter than improved scores. That is a story for you.
Oh.
So out of the one expletive in that story, do you know what podcast member suggested it?
Tracy.
Tracy Smith is the only person that picked a swear word, and it was pussy.
Jesus. She's a saint. Leave her alone.
She's a saint.
Yes. That's all I got. That's what I have for you. Dexter.
We have a new person that just tuned in. Apparently, they're a former nationals champ for duckpin. Welcome to the show. We specialize in 5-pin, also a small ball bowling game up in Canada.
We're sorry to hear about Rhode Island. I don't know how big it is, but I would imagine 3 bowling balls is not large. I apologize.
3 bowling out.
3 bowling balls, yes. 3 bowling balls also not large.
Yeah, that's not good.
My American geography needs some work. I know it's on the East Coast, but that's about it.
Yeah.
To answer Steve's question, yes, because you can see the size of the dog, so you can imagine that it's not very much damage that she's doing on the lawn. But she also has a little pad outside the door here for winter, so she's not roaming out into the yard.
Oh, really?
We let our dog out in the yard. She'll be gobbled up by coyotes or by random animals or owls in the summertime. It's not, the yard is too big for a small dog like this, so she's got a very confined little space. Don't you, honey?
Dog is super chill.
Super chill. She came and saw you there, didn't she?
Yeah. Just came and hung out with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, last topic of the night / the year wrap up kind of idea was from Curtis Kaplan. We modified it a little bit. We are going to hear everyone's top 3 non-personal moments from 2023 / a little bit of the 2022 season. Who wants to start? I know Dexter was so prepared.
I'll start. That way
no.
it doesn't steal my mind here. No, go ahead, Tim. I'm just bugging.
Okay. All right. I do have a couple.
He has a pen out. Oh, he's prepared.
I actually wrote some. Always love the Hall of Fame inductions. I always enjoy being there or seeing the people that put so much time and effort in. Obviously, super fortunate to have Tom doing, and then Carrie did Gino. So I thought those are very, very cool moments. I always enjoy. One thing I love about sports, and this is just me, just doing it right ahead. I always love watching people win things, or the crowning achievement of moments of people winning instead of people losing. I always find it really neat. Obviously, watching the live stream and watching Josie win, I thought that that kind of moment, the whole heart and determination and love and joy of just that one moment, I always love watching. Obviously, I thought Anthony finally winning in Club Tour was really cool. I know how much time and how much money and how much everything he spent in the sport. He deserves it, right? Obviously, Matt Harms, obviously, when the Tour champion was Chip was cool.
Are you gonna
I
leave
will.
anything
Tim,
for anybody else?
You're
Okay.
killing our chances.
No,
to
you
pick
had
stuff
no
here.
idea. You had no idea. I also think it was great. We finally came out with another province in northern Manitoba. That finally came out. I'm glad that finally came out. And I will finally say,
Last one. I swear to God.
last one. No, it's not nothing to do with it. We talked about the bowling alley workers or proprietors all winning. I texted Carrie this morning, and I was like, Miller won, I won, Derek Holm won. That means that Schultz and Carey have an opportunity to win because that's our 2014 Masters team right there. If you're looking at Mojos and stuff like
Is
that.
Schultz going to Regina? Because if he's not, I really got to buck up here.
I don't think I saw him on the list.
Oh, no. Watch out, Regina.
Yeah.
It's a pie house. You'll be fine.
My high set ever there for sure.
All right, Carrie, would you like to go second?
Yeah, he picked all mine, so that really.
No.
Man, yeah, it's so tough seeing Derek Holm winning back-to-back Manitoba Opens is pretty unreal, and seeing him and Matt Harms in the final again, we've never seen that before, so that was really cool. Timmy winning his second tournament finally after everybody taking it out on him, never winning one on Sunday, so that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of the WCBT, so like I'm very skewed that way. I think a lot of the crowning highlights I think comes from that.
I'm a big fan, says the president.
Yeah. Being at Open Nationals, filming it for the 5-pin viewers and seeing the ladies take home gold and Derek Holm winning gold, that was really cool. That was intense moments. I know being there and experiencing it, running back and forth, watching the ladies, watching the mix, watching the men's all playing in the finals and seeing the heartache on one side and seeing the elation on one side and seeing them all come together and for their hugs and congratulations, and that was such an intense moment for everybody, and some were on the losing side, some were on the winning side, so to see that, I don't know if many people picked up on it, to see all those friends get together and experience that together, it was a pretty neat moment for me.
I think I agree, Carrie. I think those moments are like the coolest moments. The ones where you see people play themselves in, win a championship, you see people falter and lose and see that heartache. I think that's like it's the best part of the game, which is why I say, as much as I don't really like watching bowling, the one thing that I truly, truly love watching is the final game of the final set at a cash tournament. And like final shift. And it is just, there is just something, there's nothing quite like it. So I'm going to put that on my list. This year's Regina was unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. There was probably 8 people that shot 7 baggers or more in their last game to make that cut. You see people screaming from one side to the other, and it was just so much intensity, and it was just like I've never felt that kind of energy. It was a different energy in that building than I've seen before. On the flip side, I mean, Henry ends up losing by like 10, and it was like pure heartbreak because like I was really hoping that guy was going to make that cut. But I think that was one of the coolest moments of my watching bowling ever, was that final game in Regina. I don't want to say that this is personal. I did coach, but that's not why it matters to me. Madison and Natalia winning nationals this year for YBC championships was absolutely awesome. I'm very fortunate that I was able to coach that team. But it was more of a friendship than anything. I mean, like, Madison and I have been friends for a very long time at this point, and then like Natalia was a nice addition to that, who matches my sarcasm, so it worked very well. But to be able to see Madison on her final, her final YBC Nationals, and to watch her win was awesome. So very happy for the two of them. It was awesome. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm super stoked for Christian Murphy winning Youth Challenge qualifying. Super stoked for that kid. He's put in so much work, so much effort. And like, if there's something I love seeing more than anything is like people putting in effort and getting rewarded for it. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of mental preparation. It takes a lot of self-discipline to actually go in and put in that work. So like watching Christian Murphy win that is absolutely cool. Somebody else in the podcast who we chat quite a bit, Amanda Howlett, making IP provincials after putting in like a boatload of work. It's awesome. Like I love seeing those things happen.
DB, do you have a top three?
Yeah, you bet. So obviously the one that you talked about, Dexter, was the set, obviously at Regina. I was lucky enough to be part of that set with Ryan O'Callaghan, Parker Anderson, Blair Pizzi, Jaden Algier was part of it. And it was an incredible experience to be part of that. Everybody just going, and like you said, just the energy and their best set ever being part of that, 100%. Big one for me and for the bowling world was Edmonton hosting nationals. I think, what was it, Tim, 2006 or something the last time?
2005
that Edmonton hosted it. So there was a lot of work that went into that, from many meetings of preparation side to it, the chair people, the volunteers, 40 plus volunteers that had to do with that. So just that whole atmosphere and coming to the event and getting to put it all on was wicked. I'm pretty fortunate that I get to be the voice of those sometimes at the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies, and getting to induct the Hall of Fame was very special to me as well. To be able to stand up there and rattle off all their accomplishments is really cool. And there's some very accomplished people out there, so that was really neat. And then, I got to mention, of course, the Pro League, the Bombers winning the Pro League this year. We know that we're quiet. We're not flashy, we're not the, in a way, call it the most, look at the average pros and look at some of the teams that really work on their chemistry and outside of it and build it. Whereas the Bombers are just go about our business when we're on the lane. We have a cool group that when we would show up, and we just believed in ourselves when they came to playoff time, and we stepped up. Like, you don't win the playoffs in the regular season. All you got to do is make it to the mix. And, once we got there, and again, we were very close with the Misfits. They beat us the first game 7-1, then we won the next game 7-1. The whole playoff last year from the Pro League was crazy, right? I remember the Mayhem. Yeah. They had a big win, and then they ended up losing. Obviously Dream Crushers, we beat the Dream Crushers in the semifinal. Then we could be able to beat the next gen, right? I think we lost every time we lost our first game, and we were able to battle back and just stuck in together as a team and as a group, and just believed in ourselves and came out on top. But Dex, you had mentioned that final moment or shift or final moment of anything, and that realization that you've won. Tim, you got to experience this year at TPC, that moment that you feel that you won, and just the blood rushing, and that, oh my God, we just won. And that was something so cool when the Bombers, I think it might have been 9th or 10th frame, right? I threw a strike, or the guys threw a strike ahead of us, and we just knew that this is over. And it was just the work, the effort to be able to come out on top was super cool. But that was wicked. I think just overall, the growth of I've Universe for the year has taken yet again another step in everything that we do. From the artwork, from the design, from the followers, the subscribers, the podcast, stepping aside a little bit, Tyler coming on board, developing the ladies podcast that's growing, going on to now more and more live streaming, stuff. I think just, continued growth. Obviously, Carrie coming on board with Bradson Group, is a big moment too, being able to work on some of this together, so we don't have to text all the time. Now we can work on it right here next to each other and do more things for the sport and grow. I think that it's just exciting to be part of. and very proud of what this group has done and what everybody does in the 5-pin bowling. It's a very tight-knit group, and it's cool to see the numbers that are coming out and continuing to support tournaments. You know, we look at Club Tour, Hopedale, I think we just saw is like record numbers. You know, NBT is having huge numbers. The elite level side of the game is thriving. So it's good to see. We want to continue that growth and that long-term sustainability, right? That's what's exciting about the sport, to continue doing what we love to do. And this is our hobby. We talked about the other things before, but our hobby is bowling and 5-pin bowling, and it's get to be part of this and build it is pretty awesome.
Thanks. Very nice. For me personally, I think my first one was watching my sister coach that Edmonton team to gold. You know, as much as Desiree is a very humble, like, very similar as personalities, and she doesn't share that softer side that she has with a lot of people, and knowing how hard she is on herself and how much pressure she puts on herself to be that role model and that leader for those ladies, especially having people like Madison Jenkins and Jamie on that team who had never been in a scenario like that, and just getting her to, or like being able to witness her come to trust herself and like really like believe that her, like Palmer says, 10 years of dominance at Youth Challenge isn't just a good team that she had. She was like an instrumental part of that. Is really nice, because now every time that we go to a tournament, she doesn't text me like, oh my God, I hope this goes well. She's like, I know I got this. And it makes me really proud to see that. Most recently, seeing Alyssa and Brooke make the fours at a WCBT event, I hope that really pushes other female athletes. You know, I'm not a female, I can't speak what they were experiencing, but I hope that kind of breaks down that mental barrier of, I can make it to the finals, to the semifinals, I can do it. You know, we're all equal in this game. It is not a men's versus ladies game. This is just a game of who can be the best that day. So I think that was really like a pivotal point for WCBT. At least I hope it is, in some of our results, kind of, you know, like Kelly Kulik making PBA shows, and then that opening up for Clara Guerrero, and some players like that. And then I think lastly is, like, I grew up in an era where there wasn't really bowling on TV. You know, TSN shut down in 2009, just as I was starting to get into competitive bowling as a youth. And like all through high school, I had to tell people, yeah, I'm going to bowling nationals. And they're like, what? I didn't think that was a thing. And to see all the work that people like 5-Pin Universe and WCBT and BPG and Carrie, like the work that you guys have done as live streamers and promoters for the sport, this is a year that I can look back and really think, like, we did something. Like, we actually made a change to the game. And that is exciting. And I hope it keeps going, because I would love to be on TSN one day, or CBC, or CTV, or Global, or any TV channels.
Did we ever find out what happened with the Shaw stuff from Red Deer?
Oh, that was supposed to be with Greg. No, I don't know.
No, it was they did the whole last match, or the last the fours and the twos, and we all sat there and did commentary for it.
I thought they did live. I thought it was a live thing.
It wasn't live. No, it was definitely.
It wasn't live. I haven't heard anything about it. I know they took the commentary from it and stuff, but from what I remember, I think they had the cameras on the wrong scoreboards. And so I'm not sure if they realized that they had to rebuild the scoreboards and they scrapped the project.
Oh, damn.
That sucks.
Yep. That's what happens when you have
non-bowlers trying to organize
non-bowlers trying to promote bowling. They unfortunately needed more help with that, and I hope it came out. I don't quote me on that, but I don't think it did.
Yes.
Bill's got a good question here too. What about the open film?
It's in review, in edits.
Awesome.
We've got one copy. We sent back our feedback, so still in the works, still coming.
Awesome. I'm excited to see those.
I'm not, because Katie told me about one of the scenes, or one of the
no.
clips.
At least you didn't really break
I
up
think
the Jazz hands at Nationals, so you're fine.
Steve Barker comment there about YouTube. It's tough because we all want TSN back or bowling back on TSN or Sportsnet or something. Is that, as much as we don't say it's an unrealistic dream, because it's realistic and it would be great to happen, but I'm not sure if it is. So right now, YouTube is just as good. YouTube is on TV, and as we continue to build, I mean, you can just, kids are now more on YouTube or TikTok or social media than they are even watching any TV. So, it's really the viewership. Can we continue to grow the viewership? So instead of it's being 100 people live, or maybe at a Masters Nationals 500 or 400 or whatever number, can we go into the thousands and thousands? And maybe once that starts happening, the bigger networks will take notice. So our challenge, and everybody out there that's listening, is to have more viewers on a Sunday morning, right? Tell your friends to subscribe to the channels, to log in on a Sunday morning, to watch. We need to bump those numbers up significantly, and then people will take notice. But you can't just have a small subset of people watching it every week. It needs to be expanded out into the masses and the general public of watching it and seeing it. So that's what's going to be able to grow the sport, is the viewers. We have to prove it by our own channels first before we'll go anywhere else.
But it is awesome to see WCBT hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's massive. I mean, we know that number can grow exponentially, but that's massive. I would love to get 5-Pin Universe to that point too. 1,000 viewers is really important in the world of YouTube. So subscribe, people,
big.
if you haven't. Get your friends to subscribe. It's awesome.
Henry, I'm all about self-promotion, and you guys do a lot of it. You're going to have a whole half last of the season full of Average Pros content. Just look at it this way. We got us out of the way. Now you can have the last half, and it'll all be about you.
Looking ahead, pretty excited about some relationships that we're forming with some national bodies, though, too, on a couple of sides of things. Just the other day, Carrie and myself had a meeting with Bowl Canada and the executive. It was supposed to be a 15-minute meeting, and it turned into almost an hour, and just really kind of went through the who's and the what's and how can we help and work together and cross-promote and build. And obviously, this is the proprietor network that has league bowlers on a weekly basis coming in. So how can we work together so that they can share our product with the regular league bowlers, not just the elites or the match players? So there's good stuff coming there. Excited about that. Excited about the relationship with the C5 as well. That's happening there. I know it's obviously the youth owners we don't know about, or we know that they're not having an in-person tournament. But there's the live stream side of it that we're going to make it just as good as ever. So it's exciting, right? There's good things happening for us, and the growth is happening there. And we're going to continue to put out as good of a product as we possibly can. So it's great.
I don't know how much that is public knowledge. I really want to talk about it, but Amanda, you can let me know if I'm allowed to talk about that stuff since you're in the chat. But yeah, there's lots. We're working on stuff in the background. We're looking to develop more. We've talked to marketing companies. We've talked to a bunch of different stuff. And I'm not just talking 5-Pin Universe. I'm talking WCBT and 5PL and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm allowed to talk about it? Okay, perfect. Amanda gave me the go-ahead. This is visual proof that if it ever comes back, WCBT is working with a SATE program to hopefully get business school, I don't even know how to properly say it, people taking business courses in SATE to take us on as a project to help us develop out the business plan for the WCBT, reach out to new markets, reach out to all this stuff. There we go. The Business Diploma Capstone Project. I know Amanda reached out to Mitch, and then Dexter was involved, and Dexter led her to us, and we've been working with her, and she's been phenomenal doing up drafts for us because me and Johnstone are super busy on the WCBT side and part of BPG in our Christmas season, and she's been unreal, and we hope that we get picked as a project. And we know it's not we aren't picked yet, or any of that stuff hasn't been decided, but this more avenues to try and build this out, right? That's what we need. The people that are involved, the small audience that's been watching us all evening, if you happen to know somebody that is in something that can help us or that can help the sport, just throw a comment to them. It's as simple as one conversation, right?
It's great. The greatest thing about this sport is just the vast number of people we know, and just the vast number of professionalism and what their careers are. It's amazing. We need a plumber. We got a plumber. You know, I never thought that we would have somebody in the SATE program that could help us with business proposals for things, because ultimately this could very well be one of the. It might work out to be one of the biggest things for WCBT we've had in a long time. It really could be, if it goes well, if we get picked. It has the opportunity of, you know, maybe reaching the people that we actually need to reach, and grateful for it. It should be awesome.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff in the background. We share as much as we can. We try to be open book and stuff like that, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't say because we don't want to let people down in the end. Aaron's asking about the SAFE program. So it's a business school or a trade school in Calgary, Alberta. It's like NATE. It's the southern version of
Southern Alberta Institute of Technology.
Yeah.
That's all.
The university, right?
Yeah. Cool.
We made it.
We made it.
We did it.
Merry Christmas.
I'm proud of us.
Some of you
cool.
will see us in 5PL this Sunday. Some of you won't see us till after
next
Christmas. Yeah, next gen.
Yeah.
Oh, they're in the other division. Go next gen.
Yeah.
If not, maybe we'll have a show before New Year's. We'll put out some information. We'll have something before New Year's. But thanks again for everybody for watching.
Ladies podcast next week.
Yeah, ladies podcast next week, and they'll do something for Christmas for you all. Hopefully, they'll come up with some idea. They always do.
Oh ho ho! Yeah.
Well prepared.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Daryl, for coming back on.
Thanks,
and
everybody.
it was a good show. We'll see you all
See you
later.
next year, Daryl. See you next year.
Yeah, see you next year. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Like this, yeah.